Hello and welcome back to the Ironman Progress series, where today I decided to start off with some raids. Unfortunately, because of some work commitments, I've not been able to do too many raids trips this week, mainly because the raid trips that we go on as a clan happen sort of towards the evening and night, and that happens to be exactly when I start working, so it's been a little bit difficult to get into, but I went on and assumed the DPS role, as I tend to do. I am looking at taking up a different role just to sort of contribute a little bit more to the team. But that'll probably come in next video or something like that. But yeah, also a very quick note to mention, the first 1 minute 30 seconds of this video is in sort of a lower quality just because the recording software that I am now using, that I've changed to, I had it set up to record in like 1280 by 720 rather than 1080p standard. So yeah, I fixed that after the first minute and a half. But yeah, this Beastmaster kill went pretty well. There was no issues with it at all. Although, apparently, I heard, because everyone in the clan knew I was recording this, apparently someone tried to mess up the kill for a laugh or something, but I just happened to, like, not clock on at all. I looked through the video and I couldn't tell where that happened. So yeah, also, 2 people died in this kill, which was interesting. I don't think I've done many kills where people have died, so yeah, I found that quite weird. But yeah, that was the loot and the terrible quality. Don't worry, that gets fixed in like 20 seconds. Got some Ascension bolts, some techie as well, which is important actually, because if I can save up another 3,000 techie or 3,500 techie, I'm going to be able to buy some of the standard boots from raids, which will allow me to disassemble them, to turn them into rumbling components, and make my Essence of Finality finally. Next up, as is pretty standard at the moment with the bossing on this account, I used up the remainder of my Ascension Legion keys. Now, the ones that I had left to do were Quintus and Sextus, and yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush, we got nothing. So it was about 50 kills I did in total between the 2 of these today, and unfortunately, aside from a couple of Serenic Scales and a couple of keys, I didn't get anything of note. Which was quite disappointing, because we have now in fact used up all the keys in the bank. I'm going to have to go get some more, but the kill count now stands at 473 Legion kills, which you're going to see on screen now, followed by, a simple 5 drops, which I know it's random number generation and stuff, but it's not the best, and I'm hoping it improves. But there's nothing we can do. I'm just going to go grab some more keys and get back to it, I guess. Next up was Twin Furies. I got myself a Reaper task, and Twin Furies was that Reaper task, so I figured I'd come along. I initially only intended to stay just for the Reaper task, and then I wasn't going to carry on, but I found myself really enjoying a boss that required me to sort of, respond to some pretty easy mechanics using different abilities, and I also took a few switches in some kills that I didn't record just to try those out and get used to switching in bosses that maybe it's not super important for, to prepare me for bosses that it is super important for. As well, it's important to get some of these seals built up so that I can get some better reputation. I do want to get some drops from Vindicta, but unfortunately I currently stood at like 200 Vindicta kills, haven't got anything, so I'm looking to build up the reputation there. But yeah, this whole kill, like the whole trip that I did, went down without a hitch. There was nothing wrong with it. It was pretty easy to handle, and to be honest, it was really quite enjoyable. I haven't been to God Wars 2 for some time, so being able to come here and just crack on with it was really, it felt very good. So yeah, unfortunately there was no rare drops that we got, which, I mean, in an hour you can't really expect them, but this is what we did get, which is a few coins, some alkaballs, got some of those Infernal Ashes, some Wines of Zamorak and all that stuff. So yeah, overall I was pretty happy with that. Next up was a huge milestone in my RuneScape playing time, which was taking on Vorago for the first time. I've never been to Vorago, not even attempted it, let alone killed it, and I was so excited. I was in a call at the time with the clan, and they were sort of talking all of us through it and stuff, and that was really helpful to me because I'd already watched tons of guides, but it was nice to sort of get that. I messed up a lot, as you will see. To start with, I didn't use up my potions, I also didn't summon my Nile or Nil Familiar, and I didn't throw on an aura either, so and I was a DPS, so things like that Familiar would increase my range accuracy by 5%, I could have used my Supreme Sharpshooter Aura to increase my accuracy further, and of course overloads are overloads. Like, they would have helped massively. I also forgot to put turmoil on. It was a terrible first kill for me in terms of how I handled it. I also went through all of my sailfish soups in the first phase because I was spamming my eat keybind, and they were the first foods in my inventory, and they just went. So a lot of mistakes from me, but I wasn't too fussed by it. The main goal for me throughout this kill was to just get a kill, just not die and get a kill. Yeah, it was the Scop rotation, which is considered one of the easier rotations, and that's why beginners were allowed over to this. Basically what happens is, in I think it's phase 3, 2 of these Scop things spawn and they deal area of effect melee damage. So the idea is we all stand on one spot and they attack us, and then we just DPS them down and take them down while praying melee. I took a lot of damage during this part because I didn't use devotion. One thing I didn't have on was my relic to stall my adrenaline, so I oftentimes between phases wouldn't have the adrenaline, not only to sort of, you know, spam down DPS, but also to use devotion when needed to protect myself from damage incoming. Other than that, though, it was such an enjoyable boss fight. It's probably my favourite boss that I've done at RuneScape so far. I just found it very... I mean, maybe the DPS role is perhaps, you know, one of the more enjoyable because it's a lot easier, but I do really want to look into trying one of the other roles as well. I just think it was so enjoyable. And as soon as the clan say they're going to go to Vorago again, I'm 100% down for it. Now that I've learned a bit more and got some kills under my belt, it's going to be a lot more important to, you know, kind of try and get better kill times, do more damage, all that stuff. But yeah, anyway, first kill, here we go. I was panicking a bit because every time its health got low and then it regenerated its health, I was just eating, and as you can see there, I finished with like half a brew flask left. I also got the drop, which was really cool. Actually, throughout this, every kill that I survived, I got a drop, which was pretty cool. I felt a little bit bad for the other people that were joining that didn't get the drops, but essentially there was nothing like, you know, noteworthy of drops, mainly the 2 tectonic energies per drop, which is, you know, awesome because it means we can eventually get tectonic and stuff, but I wasn't super fussed on that. Now, the first 2 kills, there was no massive issues. There were a lot of mistakes I made, but I sort of picked up on a lot of them. This is where I really screwed up. The Scop spawned, I was still soul splitting, I threw on my protect from melee too quick, I didn't use my devotion, and then I got specced out by a bomb, so it kind of all went downhill. 2 of us actually died in that like same tick, which was really unfortunate. But while they were finishing off the kill, I went and swapped out my Archaeology relics so that I could get the better relics in. So at the time, I had some things to help me with runecrafting from when I got that to 99. I just never swapped them out. So I got Persistent Rage to stall my adrenaline, and that helped me so much more with DPS. It means that I could adrenaline up at War's Retreat, and then go into Vorago with full adrenaline. Means I can throw my Death Swiftness down immediately, spam out, and get a much better DPS in there. Anyway, this here was in fact the final kill. And yeah, we got some Onyx Bolts, we got the Tectonic Energy, and it just, yeah, I was very gutted that we only, you know, were able to stay for an hour, but I was really grateful to the clan for being able to take me along and for letting me, you know, basically just contribute panic noises in the Discord while they were all talking. So the next day I logged on and I saw this. You can get a random chance at getting a banana-themed cosmetic for handing in a goutweed, some Caventine seeds, and a one of the shroom dudes. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm definitely going to do this. So I came back here, which I haven't been to since I did this quest like 5 years ago or something, which was weird. I could have, like, there was other methods of getting one of these goutweeds, but I was like, yeah, I'm just going to come here and grab that, with the hopes of getting a banana-themed cosmetic, which sounded interesting as hell. As you can see, though, I unfortunately didn't get my banana-themed cosmetic. I just got a standard banana, which kind of sucks. Later that day, I decided Twin Furies was a good shout, and I went back to do some more of them, just because I quite enjoyed it. It was also my Reaper task again, but again, after finishing the Reaper task, I stayed for a little bit longer just to get some more kills in, try and get some more seals, and hopefully get a drop. Unfortunately, as the last trip, you know, I'm only getting maybe 25 kills a trip, in an hour, sorry, so in total I got about 50 kills, and unfortunately didn't get any drops, which is what it is. I wasn't expecting anything. The drop rates currently, because I haven't got the best reputation, aren't great at the moment, like 1 in 512 or something. So, you know, the main focus of this was just getting seals to boost my reputation elsewhere. But this is what we got from that next trip, which again was really nice. Some wine of Zami, some herbs, being the main notes really, I guess. Oh yeah, I also went and got myself 100 Archaeology. That's what I've been focusing a bit of my AFKing on, just because I was getting a bit sick of hearing the ding from the AFK warden from doing the Ascension creatures for hours on end. So it was just something a little bit different, but 100 Archaeology. So that's kind of it for this week. One of the things I wanted to talk about, first of all, was that, yeah, this video was all done sort of post-recorded commentary, just because at the time that I was doing all of this, I was also doing other things, and I just couldn't get into the right place to be able to really commentate live. So I decided to just do the whole video like this for this time. Hopefully the next video will be a little bit different. Also, I want to talk about what the goal of this series now is. I've talked about it being bossing and getting better gear, but I've not really defined that a bit more to sort of give you guys an understanding of why I've gone to Twin Furies and Vorago and so on and so forth. So I'm going to talk about that here for a little bit, if that's okay. So what I want to do is, yeah, as I said, get better gear. The gear that I'm currently going for, I'm focusing a lot on range stuff. So for example, the Ascension crossbows are very high up on my goal list, and that's why you're going to see a lot more legions coming up later in the series. I'm also looking at upgrading my ranged gear, since it happens to be the combat style I use the most, mainly because I've got my decimation. I would really like to get myself some of the Zamorak God Wars 2 armor, because it's just a massive step up from the Armadil that I'm currently using as power armor. So yeah, that's kind of my goal at the moment. I'm also looking at maybe going for Nightmare Gauntlets at some point, although that's probably going to be linked a bit more with Slayer, and I'll probably mainly go for those on task, because otherwise the drop rates are pretty low, and I've got a very low chance of getting anything from those. But yeah, beyond that, Araxor is still in the mix. I've taken a bit of a break from Araxor at the moment, just because the rotation hasn't been one that I could really be bothered with, simply because I've got all of the leg pieces at the moment. I wanted to go with a rotation that would let me get more kills in an hour, so I'm just going to wait a little bit, and I figured I would spend my time elsewhere. The reason I'm doing raids a lot is just because it's something you can only do every 2 days, or at least you can only loot from every 2 days, so I want to take advantage of that when I can. And of course, as I said at the beginning of the video, a few more raids in, I'm going to be able to get myself those boots, disassemble them, and get myself some rumbling components to make my first Essence of Finality, which is going to be a huge achievement on the account. So yeah, a lot going on there. That's kind of my main goal at the moment. I don't really have much more going for me in terms of like upgrading my melee gear. I have got full masterwork. I'd like to get the highest upgrade masterwork, but that's going to require other things like, Rise of the Six and stuff like that, which I've currently not learned. There's probably going to be a lot of mix and matching with the bosses that I do in the upcoming videos. I've been struggling as to how I should structure this, whether I do it just in chronological order of when I've done things, or whether I should be posting it, all in different sections. Should I have grouped all the God Wars 2 stuff this video together? So any feedback that you've got, please do let me know. I will hopefully get some more raids done in the next video as well, because I've really missed out this week because of work. But again, I have got a lot of shifts next week, so it'll sort of just depend on what happens. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. As I mentioned as well, next video is going to be a bit more sort of, live commentary and stuff, live reactions to things. I always find that my RNG is like better anyway when that's the case. For some reason, like, something just works out for me, so hopefully that's the case. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.